Hello, my name is Brett Moran and I'm backstage at the APCTC Annual Awards 2014 and I've got the amazing Ian Young. Now, we done a surprise award for Courage to Change because Ian, you certainly deserved such an outstanding award tonight. And from the bottom of our heart, from the APCTC, we wanted to show you and recognise all the amazing work that you've been doing in the community and having the courage and the determination to change and make such a big impact in your community. But over to you. What have you got to say about receiving this award and about the work that you've done and all the people that have nominated, or well, they didn't nominate actually because this was a surprise, but all the people that you've connected to throughout the years?
Yeah, it was an absolute surprise to me to be accepting such an award. When it was announced that there was going to be that award, I was thinking, wow, that's all very nice. But when they started reading out the winner of this award, they started with my pitch, 13-year homeless statistic, intravenous drug user, and I'm thinking, that's me. And I was speechless. And as everyone was applauding, I was still sat still because it wasn't registering. And I was really touched by being given such an honour from the APCTC. Thank you so much for thinking of me. I've spoken to Chris and I've spoken to the host, Sandy, and they told me the story of how it came about, and it sounds really sincere. And for me, I live in a world of integrity, and my integrity tells me that this was such an honour that I was moved to tears, and I was close to crying before I went onto stage, and then kind of didn't know what to say. So.
That's first, isn't it?
It's unusual for me not to know what to say next. Yeah,
it was lovely to see you in that kind of energy or that emotion, so to speak. But congratulations, Ian. Well deserved. So, what kind of work have you been doing in the community? How did you come from where you was to where you are now and overcome such adversity? The addiction. I mean, that can be such a terrible sort of thing to get through.
Okay, so I don't know how much time we got, but I was I chased the experience of adding to life through drug use and drinking. And I chased that experience over many parts of the world, had a whole adventure getting high. But then at the age of 26, I knew I was dying. And it took me 3 years before I realized how to stop killing myself. And over those last 3 years, my life got smaller and smaller, and my world just became a one-room flat in West London. And when I finally found a solution that allowed me to stop doing the debilitating behaviours and drugs and drinking and the stuff that goes with that, the crime and that whole culture, when I found the solution, it was really obvious to me that the only way to stop drinking and drugging, and there is only way to stop drinking and drugging, but it took me 3 years to understand how to stop drinking and drugging. And when I found out how easy it was to stop drinking and drugging, it seemed too obvious. But if I say it now, you're going to go, wow, yeah, that makes sense. But I had no idea while I was drinking and drugging that the only way to stop drinking and drugging was to stop drinking and drugging. And I found a path of abstinence. And from that position of abstinence, I then taught myself, and I received a lot of help around this, how to live a life that felt comfortable in my own skin. And I adopted spiritual principles and spiritual values, and I learned, the secret to living is giving. And as I went back, first of all, I went back and started trying to get my first job ever at the age of 29 and entering the employment world. But I was always someone that kind of made stuff happen for myself. And so I was 4 years sober when I opened my first rehab, 5 years sober when I opened the second, and then the third site. And life just took off. I was importing ideas from America and bringing them alive in the UK. And that's kind of been the secret of my success, is I've looked at what's working elsewhere and I've imported it into the UK. So in 2008, when I began Sober Services, these were all ideas that were working in the States, and so I brought them into the UK. And they're really like the sharp end of the stick. So I work with addicts and alcoholics who are still drinking and drugging. And I'll get a request from a family member, this person needs help, but they don't want to stop. And so I go in, and when I'm doing an intervention, the family call me up, they say, little Johnny needs to stop doing this because it's killing him. And they're expecting me to go and change little Johnny. But the first thing I do is I go and work with all the family members and coach them until I'm confident that they've had enough of a change, that they're prepared to stand by what I'm teaching them. And then we go and meet little Johnny, and that's where the magic happens. So, You know, my interventions and my coaching work around the addict until I'm fully prepared that we're going to get a good result. And so my journey has just been around getting results and introducing new ideas to the UK. And that's the secret of my success.
It sounds amazing. It sounds amazing because you're really practicing what you teach as well. You've been there, you've done it, and I'm sure a lot of clients and the people you've connected to can really warm to that. They can really see that you are that change agent, and you know you're talking from your heart and you're walking the walk as well.
Look, the reality was that I trafficked and smuggled drugs and sold drugs across, I don't know, 6 or 7 different Western European countries. And when I needed to rebalance my karma when I got sober, I knew I had a hell of a lot of people that I needed to help anonymously. So I needed to find a way to touch as many people as I could without them saying, oh, that's Ian Young doing that. You know, so most of my work is done at arm's length. People don't know that I'm involved. They're receiving help as a result of structures and services that I've put together. And that's how I rebalance my karma, by helping people anonymously. And, you know, I probably have just about rebalanced my karma. Because I can put on a piece of paper and I can probably estimate that I'm, you know, over 4,000 or 5,000 families that I've helped.
Amazing, Ian, and that's exactly why you deserved the special award, the surprise award, the Courage to Change award, because you really did have the courage to change, and you're helping other people create that courage within them. So what would you say, last question, what would you say to somebody, maybe as an addict, or maybe they're stuck, you know, or something's going on with them, their own inner demons, what would you say to them about transformation?
If you are struggling and your coping mechanisms are merely causing you more harm than you're starting with, and I say that from a place of experience, where my way of dealing with the shame and guilt that I was experiencing as a result of the facts that the drugs and drink were killing me, and the only way I knew to deal with the fact that I knew it was killing me was to keep doing the things that were killing me in the first place. If you're feeling like you can't stop and you need help, not just stopping, but then learning how to not start again, I need you to know that it's possible to stop and stay stopped permanently. That recovery is permanent, and it requires you being open-minded enough to do what I do. If you like what I've got, then you've got to do what I do. And you know, bubblegum spirituality: do for others as you would like done to yourself, and do for others what they cannot do for themselves. That's bubblegum spirituality.
Bubblegum spirituality. I love it. Ian, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you
yeah,
very much.
honestly.
Really touched. Thank you.